Hey, today I'm going to go over using Claude and Cursor to build an iOS app. I already have an app that exists. It's basically an alarm clock where your friends and family can wake you up rather than an annoying alarm clock sound. I've been building it for the past couple weeks. Right now, I'm in the process of building the screen after setting an alarm. So we go here, and I have this button that sets the alarm in 5 seconds for testing purposes. As you can hear, that's a really annoying sound. So what I want to do instead of playing that annoying sound is for another screen to pop up, which will show the face of my friends and family, and it's going to play their voicemails one after another. For this video, I probably won't get to the point where it actually plays the audio, but I'm going to show how I build that new screen where it's going to show the friends and family. I'm considering making it a circle in the middle of the screen for the current voicemail that's being played, and then it automatically moves to the next circle or the next profile picture of the person. So yeah, let's get started. Usually when I want to create a new screen, I go straight to Cursor and I give it a current screen. So for example, there's an active alarm screen. That's this screen right here after we activate an alarm, this one. So I usually start off with that, and then I use a tool called Whisper Flow to just talk voice to text into the context window, into the chat window. So I'll just start now. Please build me a new screen that automatically launches once the alarm activates. This new screen is going to contain a carousel of circular profile pictures that take up the majority of the screen. However, they still show a peak of the next profile circle card. And what will happen is what this screen will do is it will play voice messages for each person, and it will automatically move to the next person and play that. At the moment, there's no actual voicemails, but I would like to simulate the autoplay and who is currently being played, and I would like for it to be in a round robin fashion. Please build out the UI for this and make sure to include a view model. Alright, so this is a really big, high level abstract prompt, and what I'm going to do is use Claude Thinking Max for this specific prompt. I think for very low level tasks, I'll probably switch over to 3.7 without Max or Thinking because it's a little overkill. So let's get started. Alright, looks like it's done generating all the code. It took about 2 minutes, which is a bit slower than usual, but still way faster if I did it myself. I'm going to click the build button and see if the code compiles, and looks like it does compile. It succeeded. Now it's installing onto my device. Let's check out what it built. Okay. Whoa, that's weird. Oh, cool. It makes it look like... Whoa. That's so cool. Yeah, it's doing like a round robin carousel. It's kind of interesting that it added a player on its own. Let me just close this sound. How do you stop this sound? Okay. Yeah, that's really cool. The new UI it built was pretty cool. The alarm is still playing in the background, which I think is kind of weird, but I didn't ask it to get rid of that sound, so I can do that now. The alarm is playing in the background. I would like for you to get rid of the alarm sound completely from the previous page and only show the new page. Alright, this probably doesn't need thinking or max, so I'm just gonna keep it like that and include the new screen that we added, which is alarm. Okay, so instead of saying from the previous page, I will actually say from the active alarm screen specifically. And while it does that, I'm just going to commit this code because it's building. Okay, yeah, it's removing the alarm player and all of the audio player code. Let's test it, see how it goes. I'm gonna rebuild the app. Okay, right, this looks cool. Hey, hope you're having a great day. Yeah, I like this. This is great. It's basically auto-playing everything. Now what I want to do is, instead of having mock data, I want it to actually load in my friends and family. I have a connection with Supabase database that already stores the friends and family, and so instead of showing 5 people, it should actually show 2 of them, because those are the people on my homepage at the moment. I can show it right here, these 2. So let's do that. This is going to be a pretty important task to show, because it's going to require me building some sort of layering in the code, architecture-wise, or organizing my code. And I've already have the code for getting my friends. In this case, they're called invited users, and I need to reuse that code. So this is going to be a very great demo to show if Cursor has the ability to recognize that I already have this existing in my code base, and that I can reuse that same code for getting my friends and family. Alright, so what I'll do is I'm going to get rid of this screen and add the voicemail screen, alarm voicemail, and alarm voicemail view model. And then I'm going to give it the actual invited user repository. This should give it enough context to figure out that basically the users that we're loading are called invited users. So let's see what it does. I'm going to write the prompt. Instead of the mock data of 5 people on this screen, I would like for you to pull in my invited users. Get the invited users from the database and show them on this screen. Feel free to use this repository as an example and look up other usages of how we use this repository in other screens. Alright, let's do that. Click on Max. Just to give you some background about the repository, I've already structured my code to have repositories, and that was done by basically having repository rules for my Cursor rules, and that just gives an example of how to build a repository and how to build its data sources properly so that it has built-in caching. I have local data sources and remote data sources for every type of data that I'm loading. For example, the invited users for this specific occasion. And these Cursor rules make it so easy for me to simply tell it, hey, create a repository so you could save my friends or my invited users. And so I will share this as well on what these rules will look like. In the meantime, I can actually show what my repository looks like for invited users. Let me actually find it. Okay, here you go. So the invited user repository has a get all invited users. It's pretty simple. It just calls the local data source. Yeah, I have this function here which basically says get or fetch all invited users. This will check to see if we have users stored locally. If we don't, then it'll fetch the network for it. And that way I can save a bunch of network calls and we have to consistently wait for things. Looks like Claude is done with generating it added a loading state. That's so cool. It just does things automatically. It really goes above and beyond on its own. Here we have the invited repository. Yeah, it passes it in, and then we load users directly. This is a task with a catch main actor run. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Just to give more background, like I actually have no experience making iOS apps. I'm an Android developer. So I've just been learning by asking Grok and ChatGPT about certain concepts, like main actor run. A similar concept is using view model scope routines in Kotlin and Android. So it's been a pretty fun experience for me learning iOS. Let's run the app and see what it looks like. Hey, look at that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it shows the first user. I have to click the play button. This time it doesn't autoplay it, but maybe we can fix that. Yeah, now it autoplays it. That's cool. Nice. Okay, so I'll ask it to autoplay it. Everything is working great. Thanks for adding the invited users. However, I'd like for you to autoplay the messages once the users are loaded. Yeah, so this doesn't really require too much thinking or max. Just Claude 3.7 is good enough for this. And that way you get to save money. I recently got charged like $25 for 1 day worth of coding. So you gotta watch out for when you use this thing. Alright, it's auto playing and it'll move to the next person. Cool. Yeah, I like this. Alright, I'm gonna end it here. This was just a quick showcase of how to add new screens and how to plug the data into existing repositories. In the next video, I want to show how to actually pull in the voicemails and play them. That would be pretty good to show. I hope this has been informative, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.